What's up guys, Jared Mecham here with another one of the greatest videos on the entire internet. That's right, this is going to be awesome. I've got my buddy Dan here. We borrowed him from Sean Nurse's space station because we have something very cool going on today. We are going to build our very own little mini space station. Yes, that's right. We are going to build a gaming PC. Building a PC is something that I've always wanted to do, but never have really known how to do. I've done some research on the internet, specifically like on Reddit, like the subreddit build a PC or something like that, but it always helps to have someone who has the entire know-how. Dan here has helped me out a ton. We've been talking back and forth about parts, price range, all of these different things. So he's gonna help me build this PC. He's gonna show me exactly how to do it so you guys can follow along too. So let's get started. So we've got like all of our gear here spread out on the table, and what I'm gonna have Dan do is go over more of like the key components of the computer and kind of give us like a little spec rundown. But for sure I'm gonna have in the description below a full breakdown of all of the stuff that we have for the computer.
For this computer we're using an i7, it's the newer Skylake processor. It's not the unlocked version, we aren't planning on really doing any overclocking. This will be plenty fast for what we're doing. We've also got, for video card, we're going with the GTX 980. We didn't really want to skimp a lot here, so that's kind of where most of the computer is. And then we're also doing 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. I think this is going to be an awesome setup. It's going to be more than what Jared needs. The
first thing that we want to do is we want to take the motherboard, unbox this, and then attach the processor and the water cooler to the motherboard. Did I say that right? Is everything good? Okay.
That was good.
We're good so far. All right, let's unbox this guy and see what we can find out. Now, the reason why I have you is I want to make sure I'm not frying any processors, I'm not bending any pins or anything like that. I'm a complete novice when it comes to this kind of stuff, so
that out. These
look important.
That's how you know your motherboard's good. Silver SATA cables.
Ooh, silver. None of this aluminum crap, right? They use aluminum? No. Okay. Now this is the motherboard. This is like
the motherboard.
The creme de la creme of the computer.
Yeah. And it is in an anti-static bag.
Do we need to like anti-static ourselves?
You should ground yourself before you start touching them. So any static electricity you have can kind of arc onto the board, and it won't necessarily just instantly fry it, but it could damage some of the parts to where they stop working sooner than they should.
Okay.
So to ground yourself, you just need to touch a metal object that's grounded.
We are now grounded.
Okay, we
cannot leave this room. This is like the part that makes me super nervous.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
It's a cool looking motherboard. Like it's got all the cool really colors. Cool. Yeah.
So right here, this is where the processor goes. That's the socket.
Okay.
Under here, this has a little clip. There are hundreds and hundreds of tiny pins.
Yes.
This is a fun fact.
All right there.
The socket is LGA 1151. That means there are 1,151 pins in that socket.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they're tiny.
I'm gonna take their word for it. I don't want to count. So we're using an Intel Core i7. This is, you said it was the Skylake?
Skylake, yes. It's the newest one. It's the 6700.
3.5 gigahertz? 3.4
or 5? 3.4
gigahertz i7 processor. I was gonna say, I thought processors were probably smaller than this.
Yeah, it comes with this fan and this heat sink, but we're not gonna use that because these are loud and they aren't very efficient.
And we're using the water cooling.
The water cooler, yeah.
It's nice of them to think about those who don't have the water cooling.
So we'll pop the socket open. And then right here on the socket bracket, it's got an arrow pointing.
And they're gonna have an arrow pointing on this way too.
A gold arrow right there on that corner.
Now, as far as, do you just plug it in?
Yep, the bottom of it is flat, and then it just has gold contacts for every single one of those pins.
Okay.
So you just drop it in.
May I?
You may.
Do you want me to?
Go ahead. The edges.
Oh, it's heavier than I thought.
Yeah, no, it's dense.
So right in here, just drop it in?
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Just kidding. Are you kidding or no? What'd I do wrong?
No, you're good.
Oh my gosh, freak! You just freaked me out. Okay.
Okay, and then we'll close that. And then this, you have to put quite a bit of pressure, like it feels like you're smashing it.
Yeah. It's like a mouse trap.
Yeah, and it's stronger than a mouse trap. Okay.
Great. Processor is in.
Next part.
Let's open this guy.
This one.
The water cooler goes directly over the top of the processor, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So this part right here, this is the contact point to the processor. It's solid copper plate.
Yep.
And then that gray stuff is thermal paste that they have on there. So when you push it on there,
it's gonna stay there.
Not necessarily. Metal is like under a microscope, it's like super bumpy and rigidy. That fills in all the gaps so that more of the processor is touching the cooling plate.
Oh,
so
okay.
just improves efficiency. So this is the back bracket. So we tilt that up. There are 4 holes at the back for 11.5X sockets. It's all in the in position.
Like butter. Goes in like butter.
And we drop this down.
Almost dropped it.
Oops.
Did we lose him?
I let the bracket out. Can I find it? There it is.
Nice.
Okay.
It's like we're playing Operation.
It's a lot harder though. We're going to be using this bracket to go over
This
the
is
top.
the top bracket?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these thumb screws go on that side, which means the thicker screws, nope, we need the smaller threaded ones.
Oh, shit.
You screwed it up.
Actually, I didn't screw it up. That's why it's not screwing in.
With all 4 of those in there, this then goes down on top of that, then this goes over the top of that,
Okay.
and these thumb screws go in and tighten it down.
Lock it in, cinch it up tight.
Yeah, but first we probably want to attach the fan onto the radiator, which we'll do with screws and the washers. For single fan, the best way is to have it on the inside, pushing air through it.
Got it. And then you just use like a screwdriver to get them tight or something?
Yeah. Let's actually put this inside the case first.
All right.
Because depending on how we orient this, we kind of want to position the fan
a certain way for the case.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay.
probably want it on the top of the case actually, like this.
This is the tower that we have here, and we're just going to open up this side. And, oh. Does it just, oh, it pops out. I thought it tilts.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, look at all these. These are for like hard drive base?
Yep.
Is that what they are? Holy cow, you can like fit so many in there.
You can have 6 hard drives in here.
And then these are for, I'm sorry, this is the first time I've seen the inside of a case, so I'm kind of excited.
These are all for optical drives.
Okay.
If you want.
Which we're not even going to use.
Yeah.
We don't, that's kind of a thing of the past now.
Not a lot of people use them. This is all of our hardware.
So what we're doing now is we're actually going to take the, we're going to mount the motherboard to the case, and then we're going to put the fan and the cooling unit on there because of the positioning. We wanted to do it in this order.
So this case already has standoffs in here, and that's these little studs that kind of lift it off the
lift
back.
the motherboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now as far as this cable goes, we'll just stick that out.
Slide it in here, get it out of the way for now. You gotta stick the I/O board in first.
Oh, don't forget the I/O board.
Can't tell you how many times I forgot to do this. And then you have to pull everything back out. It's just so the back end of it looks pretty.
Yeah.
It just pops in.
Well, that's nice.
Okay.
Careful. Careful.
Slide it in.
I mean, is the processor really like the only thing that you have to be super careful about on the motherboard?
That's by far the most fragile part, yeah, is bending the pins in the socket.
Okay.
The rest of the stuff though, you still want to be careful. The motherboard, like moving it around, you don't want to sit it down and scratch the back of it with these standoffs.
Yeah.
That could cause some problems. Now we've got a bunch of screws that we gotta drop in and not too tight.
Yeah. Now we've got the motherboard attached to the case. We're gonna put the cooler on now. And the cooler we're putting on this side, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we'll put it on the top of the case, and I think we want it to kind of bend in there like that.
We have alignment. So what we've discovered is that the fan actually doesn't have the screws that need to be on the inside. So sucking air or blowing air out. We have to take the fan and put it on the other side of the radiator because the screws are, I guess, that's the only way the screws are gonna work.
Yeah, and they only gave us one set of screws instead of the 2 different sets that they normally do.
So we've got 2 fans here that suck air in, 1 fan that blows air out, and then the power supply will blow air out. So we should have enough air circulation in the correct directions. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Found it?
Yeah. This is the crucial part.
Supposed to go in here right there.
That is the
These
water.
Hoses. Yeah, and these hoses.
There's water in there.
Yeah, they're full of liquid right now, so if I accidentally break one off, then
we're in trouble.
But that right there, I think feels pretty good. Not too much tension on it.
There we go.
Okay, so then pull off the plastic. And that is like a paste stuff. You can smear around if you really want to. Okay.
All right.
Then these thumb screws.
Uh-huh.
So we have that installed now, and
Now
this...
that's your power, right?
Yes, and on the motherboard you have fan sockets all around it, but there's one labeled CPU OPT.
The optimal CPU.
And then there's, on this one it's got 2, CPU fan and CPU OPT.
This is the RAM of choice for today's project. We've got some DDR4 16 gigabytes of RAM.
300 mega, or 3000 mega.
Yeah, 3 gigahertz.
Okay, and we want to do, you pick a color. If you're just doing 2 of the 4 sticks, you pick a color. So both in black or both in red. And then, yeah, I think you got it right. There's a notch on the RAM and it goes one way or the other, but I think we've got them right. And then you gotta kind of push hard and then it'll, on the end. There you go.
Once you hear the snap, you're golden. All right, so we've got the motherboard in, we've got the water cooler in, and we've got the RAM in. What's next?
Next, we can either do the video card or the hard drives.
Let's do the video card. Wow, look at that. This is not just your normal card.
No, this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, this is a card. When I think of a card, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a computer. It's like a card, like a business card. This is way more than just a card.
It's got some heft to it.
There's much heft.
Slide this little sleeve off. Open up the slot. So just have that pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you do any of that, make sure you free up some slots for it on the case.
Genius.
Slides right in there.
Once you hear the pop,
pop close.
You can't stop. Now this is just protective film.
Yep, so pull that off, I'll give you the pleasure. Oh yeah. Good work, Jared.
There we go.
This is beautiful looking.
It actually looks so cool. I mean, look at all these components, all of the different things here. It's very cool looking. Like, it's amazing that humans have come up with this stuff. Like, all of these different, you know, these circuits and everything. It's amazing how far we've come. Like, this is something that we're doing at home. You know, it's mind-boggling to me. All right, next up, we've just got our regular power supply. Look at all these cables. There's so much to it. That's insane that fits in the computer.
We will throw this in here at the very bottom. It's got a little cubby hole made for it.
Oh, that's cute. It's a little home. Now, what are all those cables for? That goes into each different...
Yeah, so let's undo this so we can pull them all out and take a look at them.
Now, I'm guessing it just goes on the outside. So
yeah, that's just the wall plug. So this one, the biggest one, is a 24-pin power, and that goes into the motherboard. So right here, this is for the video card. PCIe, that's what these slots are called. So these both just plug right into there. We'll plug that in after we get the other bigger cables in, just so we route everything the best way. And this one is your CPU power, and that goes all the way up right there. So this one, it looks like the cable's not long enough to route through the back and then up.
So we'll go around the side?
Well,
or just over the top?
If we go in through right there, we might be able to come out right there and then plug in.
Oh, there's some dimension to this case. So do we need to lift it up?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to lift it up, pull the back side off so we can thread stuff through, and then back in.
This just got exciting.
And I'm thinking we're going to stick it through there. We'll just pull that in through as far as we can.
There we go.
And then that'll just come in right up here. And there you go.
Got it. Ding!
Just pull the slack back through so it's not
so your slack's
in there.
So your slack is in the back.
Yeah. This bigger one feeds through down here. Looking nice. And then we come in on the top one. So right here. And it plugs in this way. I like to kind of push on the back of the motherboard right there, you know?
So it has there's clips in the back to keep the cords from like moving all over the place.
These ones are all going to be for your peripherals like hard drives, optical drive. If you put like an SD card reader in it, those will all power that. This one is going to be the video card. I think we've got enough cable to snake it out of here. And even though it's a short distance, I think it'll look better.
Yeah.
And then snake it in right here. And just have it come in and clip in there and in there.
You're right, Dan. That does look better.
It does. And that's the main stuff.
Wow.
The fans, these fans, we're gonna plug these in on the motherboard because the motherboard, this one, it's got enough slots to power all the fans that we've got.
Cool.
So right there we've got a system fan plug. We'll bring this out here, come back up here, and plug into that one.
Now, so that's a 3-pronged thing, but you're only using 2 of them.
I'm using, it's a 4-prong plug, but I'm using 3. Yeah, okay. And the 4th one is for fans where you can control the speed on them.
Oh, okay.
This one, let's find another fan. Right there, we've got one on the bottom. So we'll feed this without wrapping up everything else. Right here. And that fan is plugged in.
All of the fans have been plugged in. We just have a few remaining power supply things that need to be plugged in. So what are we gonna do next?
Let's take care of this one real quick. So on your side down there should be one that says HD audio on the motherboard. So that one will plug into there. And it's got a missing pin on the bottom, yep. I think. Yeah, so that should line up. And that covers your headphone and microphone jacks on the front of the case.
Okay.
Then this one is the USB 3 header, and that's for the USB 3 ports that you have on the front. And those are actually up here on the motherboard on the top. Okay. So we'll have to pull this one back through. This one. We'll plug it into there, it doesn't matter which one. And then these will be for the hard drives, so let's do those ones next.
Okay, let's grab the hard drives. So we've got 2 hard drives. We've got a 1 terabyte spinning hard drive and then a 250 gigabyte solid state hard drive that we're going to install.
Nice thing about these cases, used to not be this way. You just have quick,
easy access.
Quick install trays. And those little metal prongs just go into the screw holes.
Keep it in place.
I like to slide them in so that all the cables are on the back side and then just wire them in that way. just to make it
prettier
looking. Yeah. Solid state though, it won't fit in here like that, so they've got these other holes.
We'll have to screw those in.
We'll have to screw that one in, yeah. It's in there. See, it's easy.
Now we'll just pop it in.
Then these are called SATA power cables. We'll just need one of these to power both of those hard drives, which means these other ones, we'll just push them through, zip time in the back, and we'll be done with that.
How convenient.
Okay, and then all these tiny ones, they're for the power buttons. In this case includes a little adapter that makes it really easy. It says like hard drive, that means the hard drive light's like the orange light that blinks when the hard drive's being used. That's the reset switch, LED power, and then, oops, power LED, power LED. This could be either of those, and then that's the power switch, and then the speaker. Go into that one. Reset switch, that one. And then this, look at where the blank pins are on this, and then that just plugs in. Right there.
Great, wow.
There, it's looking tidy.
Yeah.
On the front, anyway.
This looks way better than this does back here. This is very pretty, this is very messy. But that's why they have a back case to go over it, right?
As far as cables go, I think that's the last part. These are the data cables. These are for the hard drives. There's 2 in each one.
Do we need both of them?
Depends, because they each have one right angle end in one. And if we want to use both right angles, which, yeah, we'll want to use both right angles, so we'll open that one up. Okay, and then these plug into the motherboard.
So we'll cut through like
so we need to come in through right here on the bottom. Pull it through. Okay, and we're putting the operating system on the solid state drive, which is connected to this one. And so whatever your operating system is on, it's better to just put it on the very first SATA slot, which on here, right there, it says SATA 3. It's got a diagram 0, 1, and then the top ones are 4 and 5. So 0 is going to be the first one, that's the top back one. And this one will plug in right, get it up in there.
There you go.
There. And then the other hard drive, you can just go into any other one, but we'll just stick it in
for convenience.
The next one over. Yeah. Then we'll pull that slack through, zip tie it, and then I think we are done with cables.
Like I said before, there's like so much more to this than I ever imagined. Like I got all the parts, but I didn't know that each of them would have so many different components associated with them. But this is great. So just like zip tie like that.
Yeah. That should be fine. As long as they aren't kinked hard, they should be good.
We close her up?
Just smash the back of it all in there and hide it all.
Oh my gosh. This is the very clean, organized inside of the, the front, everything. We're gonna flip it around and show you how the back looks. Cables galore everywhere. We are just going to take the case and put it back, or the side, and just shove it all in there.
Just kind of like to hide our mistakes. Clamp this in the best we can. Right there. This one, stick kind of right there.
Extra hard drive days, right?
Yeah. And then try and get that bottom in without those cables away. It's not down all the way. Oh, my inside just went in. There it is. And now it's good looking.
We should probably install the Wi-Fi card before we close it up.
Yeah, that one fits in these slots as well. It's a smaller one, a PCI-Express, so we can put it in this top one right here.
Screw these in, right?
Yeah, the antennas just thread in. That. And then it plugs into that tiny slot right there.
Is there like any screws that you need to do?
Oh, just the side one.
Oh wow.
Replace the side one and that's it.
Now these will bend, right?
Yeah, so you can point those
up or something.
Yeah, just so that they're out of the way.
Actually,
I don't think it really helps reception. There it is.
And with that snap, the inside is complete. It is finished. Wow. Did you hear that? It was magical. All right, this is the moment of truth. This is putting all of and all of our work and seeing if it powers on. We've got all our peripherals connected. We've got a monitor connected through DVI, our keyboard, our mouse with the correct amount of weight. We added weights because I guess this is a gaming mouse, and you can add your own weight to it so it feels good. And then we've got Windows 10 plugged in via USB. So we'll hit power, and then let's see what happens. Are you ready for this? You ready, Dan?
Do we need to set up a reaction cam?
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Watch the monitor.
Is the monitor on? Do we need to power that on?
Yeah, it should auto.
Yeah, I've got a light here. Come on, geese! Oh, I heard a little ping. Wait, I think it might be standby because it's orange. Uh-oh. Oh.
It shut off and then it turned back on.
Fans are on. No signal. Oh.
That means it did.
That means it's powering.
I did see something for a second.
DVI. Wait for it.
There it is.
Yes! High fives all around. Yeah!
It worked.
Okay.
And
So
we want 64-bit.
Yeah. Sweet.
Piece of cake.
We did it. This is so cool. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's install Windows 10. Well, guys, after about 15 minutes, 20 minutes of installing, we have a Windows screen. And to be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with Windows 10. The last Windows computer that I'm really active on was Windows XP. So that just kind of shows you like how much of this I know, but I'm excited to get going. I think there's some drivers and some other things that we need to install to get like a second monitor and all the other stuff going. So Dan is going to show us exactly where to find which drivers we need to install.
Okay, so if we just go into a window here, we can right click on this PC, then manage. Then in the device manager, this will show everything that is basically installed on your computer. Anything that has a little warning sign, like the Ethernet controller, that means it doesn't have software for it, so we need to find some drivers online for that.
I was just gonna say, let's install Chrome before we do anything further, okay?
That should always be the first step after installing Windows.
What we're doing right now is we're going to the Motherboard's website and downloading the associated drivers that we need. Alright guys, there you have it. This is the computer setup, at least for right now. We have a couple things that are coming in the future once we move into the new house. But we've got the dual monitor setup, we've got the computer down here, we've got an awesome keyboard, an awesome mouse, and I am ready to get started. Everyone give a big shout out to Dan. Thank you so much for helping me in making this possible.
Thanks for letting me build your computer.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. From the very beginning to the specs, the gear, the knowledge, the know-how. Thank you, everything. Thank you so much. So I'm ready to play some games. I've got to download Steam and some other things, but let me know in the comments down below what game you guys want to see me streaming, because that is what this is all about, is some streaming and gameplay. Kind of like a new hobby for me is to interact with you on like Twitch and YouTube gaming. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think I should be playing. What do you think? What's the next big game that we should be streaming?
Overwatch.
Overwatch. Okay, someone might need to hook me up with like an early access code. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more streaming, and we'll see you in the next video.